What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy Thomas, and today we have an update for Nike's latest lawsuit. This time they are going after New Balance and Skechers yet again for more trademark infringement. In today's video, we are going to read this information posted to soulretriever.com, talk about it, give my opinions, and discuss other lawsuits Nike has given to other sneaker companies in the past few years, and hopefully figure out what this all means, why Nike is doing this, and try to get some answers into what's really going on. Let's get into it. Guys, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you aren't already tuned into the channel. I cover weekly supreme streetwear news, the occasional sneaker review, and sometimes discussion videos like this where we talk about stuff happening in the footwear and streetwear industry. If you like any of that content, please stick around. I'd love to have you a part of the community. All right, so we already have an update, apparently. Before anything else, we will first say, before the update, that Nike has initiated legal action against competitors New Balance and Skechers, alleging that these companies have infringed upon its patented Flyknit technology. This development was first reported by Reuters, marking another chapter in Nike's vigilant protection of its innovative knitting technology for shoe uppers. And if you guys aren't familiar or just need a refresher, these are the Nike Flyknit racers that really showcase what the Flyknit technology is. It's essentially a series of very thin threads that are woven into a synthetic upper that can be printed on, like the swoosh right there, and it's a very lightweight model. It was pretty much premier technology in like the early 2010s, I believe, but nowadays it's still used, but not as like their most flagship creation. And for companies like Nike, this type of stuff is what gives them their brand identity. They really value themselves and consider themselves as one of the highest production leaders in terms of sneaker technology. So something like this is a patent they would want to protect. They don't want other companies just copying their innovation. And as Nike is the largest footwear company in the world, it's no surprise that they're going after competitors in a series of lawsuits to try to basically decrease competition and strengthen their own brand's technology to the best of their ability. New Balance says they fully respect Nike's intellectual property rights, but they say that they do not own the exclusive right to design and produce footwear by traditional manufacturing methods that have been used in the industry for decades. We will vigorously defend ourselves against Nike's attempt to enforce its patents beyond their lawful scope. I definitely see both sides here, New Balance's take, and we will get into what these specific infringements were in the rest of this article. But New Balance is saying like, hey, we're doing this manufacturing technique that may seem like it's similar to Flyknit, but they don't believe it's fully in violation of that patent. So there is always a fine line, and companies do frequently take inspiration from each other when they see one department doing well or one sector doing well. They're going to want to copy that so they have some market share in that particular sector. All right, the legal confrontations materialized in the form of federal lawsuits filed on Monday, pinpointing multiple shoe models from New Balance and Skechers that Nike contends are utilizing its proprietary Flyknit technology without permission. This is not Nike's first time at the legal battleground defending its Flyknit patents, having previously filed lawsuits against other brands like Adidas, Puma, and Lululemon. Settlements were reached with Adidas and Puma. The skirmish with Lulu persists. Outside of Flyknit, Nike has taken a variety of brands to court in the last year, including Bape. Yes, Nike has recently sued Bape, and Bape basically responded to that lawsuit. Basically, Bape has the Bapesta, which is, it's an Air Force One with Bape branding. Let's be clear. The sneaker's model and silhouette is pretty much the exact same, but they've been around for so long and been making the shoe for over 20 years. Bape says that meetings in 2009, Nike offered them a licensing deal, but then essentially it didn't go through. And this would have been kind of objected Bape's own sneaker designs, and they didn't end up going through with the actual procedure, and they didn't want to rush the license. It says here, kind of skimming through this, they wanted to reconsider the position. But yeah, so Nike claims that Bape diminished its businesses in the United States after the '09 meeting. So Nike is saying the Bapesta has infringed and affected negatively Nike's Air Force One sales, and that Bape says Nike let up on the dispute and haven't really talked much since like the late 2010s. So that's really interesting. Nike is really no stranger to the legal field. But yeah, this is super interesting to me as someone who's been a big fan of sneakers for a long time. Obviously a huge Nike fan, Jordan fan. I think in the sneakerhead community, Nike kind of continues to reign supreme. We've seen some competition over the years to kind of take down Nike's throne from primarily Adidas and Yeezy. Kanye West probably being the most notable contender in that field. And then we have the occasional trends of running sneakers, Asics, New Balance, but those kind of all blend together as one entity, while Nike, if you combine them with Jordan, it's like it has to be over like 60 to 70% market share. And then in terms of sneakerheads, probably even more than that. I'd say close to 75%, 80% of what people's sneaker collections look like. I know so many people singly collect Nikes, which is crazy. The crux of Nike's legal claim in this case rests on allegations that New Balance and Skechers have appropriated this technology for their ranges, including New Balance's Fresh Foam and Fuel Cell lines and Skechers Ultraflex and Glide Step collections. Nike's legal documents filed respectively in federal courts in Massachusetts and LA assert that these products infringe upon its patent rights. As the legal proceedings unfold, Nike is not only seeking monetary damages, but also a decisive court order to bar New Balance and Skechers from further alleged infringements permanently. Good luck with that. That seems really intense. The specifics of the damages Nike is pursuing have not been disclosed. Also, my own disclosure, not a legal expert. I do not have a law degree. I have some minor personal experience in patent law and some trademark stuff. I do have some understanding of what's going on, and we will finish this article up here. The outcome of these lawsuits could have significant implications for the sneaker market, potentially influencing sneaker design trajectories and IP strategies. The protection of innovation is a fundamental driver in the fiercely competitive athletic footwear sector, and Nike's recent actions reaffirm its intent to remain at the forefront, not only in product development, but also in the safeguarding of its technological domain. Kind of like what I was talking about at the beginning, Nike wants to protect their patents and be industry leaders, but I also really understand where these other brands are coming out. They want to actually create technology too, and if it's similar to Nike's, they don't want to be punished for kind of coming to the same conclusion, but it's a really tough situation. So I wonder if we have any actual updates on, I don't know what exactly we have from the actual infringements. Let's see if we can go to Reuters. They're asking me to disable my ad block. Perfect. We love doing that. Okay, what are the actual patent infringements? It doesn't even show any images. Classic. So I don't know what sneakers are exactly being infringed on. It did say the technology was Skechers Ultraflex. So let's take a look at Skechers Ultraflex and see, maybe is this infringing on Flyknit technology? I don't know, man. It's a synthetic upper. It doesn't really look like Flyknit, but at the same time, if they are using whatever patented technology Nike has, I don't know. It's really tough, man. Like, I obviously want to see innovation from all companies to create the best sneakers for consumers, but also I understand where Nike's coming from. You can't just steal technology, and Skechers, unfortunately, is a brand that kind of takes the low bar in cheapening other brands' innovations and kind of making them more affordable, more appealing to a basic general audience, kind of dumbing down the identity of the sneakers, making them less intense, if that makes sense, and more kind of mass adoption. Older people maybe are more willing to get Skechers because they're not flashy, they don't have super bright, they have some bright colors, but not as intense branding, things like that. Last lawsuit we'll touch on is the Air Key, or the Cool Key. This is basically one of those guys that was dropping basically extremely ripped off Nike models, the Air Key 85, the lows, and these are the exact infringing products. These kind of things, it's also tough because it's like, hey, this is a smaller artist, and while I do really respect people trying to form their own brands and take inspiration from streetwear and sneaker giants like Nike and other brands, there is a certain level where you're like, okay, man, you're really just stealing the model. And I believe people like this probably sourced a lot of their products from similar factories in China that actually produced the actual real Nike shoes and just actually modified them just a little bit. The trademark lightning bolt doesn't resemble the swoosh. That's what Cool Key says. That was the counter lawsuit. But I think they did actually release a settlement. This is a kind of an older, this is an older settlement and lawsuit, but I wanted to mention it in this video since we are talking about Nike lawsuits. This one I think is a little more cut and dry. Like, I think Nike has a lot more to say than maybe it actually has against the newest things, the New Balance and Skechers. I really want to see what shoes they are actually countering and say are trademark infringements, kind of like they did with Bape, where they had actual models like this. And honestly, this does look fairly damning. But the biggest thing about Bape is Bape has been making these sneakers for so long. It's really surprising and weird that Nike is finally doing something. It's kind of like they've had this in their pocket forever and they're just now unleashing it. But that's pretty much it. What do you guys think about this latest lawsuit from Nike against New Balance and Skechers? For me personally, I see where Nike is coming from and I respect US patent and trademark laws. I think that kind of stuff is really important to protect innovators, inventors, people that have come up with really cool and innovative technology. But at the same time, I'm also someone who supports art and design, fashion, all that stuff. So I want to see healthy competition in a way that doesn't maybe infringe on these patents. But at the end of the day, this is a ticky-tacky law thing that's going to be settled in court or Nike's going to win. I don't really know what's happening here. I don't know what the precedent is for their previous lawsuits. It is definitely a developing story. And I think we'll get a lot more answers maybe a year, half a year down the road. I will cover this information on the channel if you guys want to see stuff like this. But again, let me know what your take on all this is in the comments down below. It's been your boy Thomas and I'm out. Peace and buckeries. See ya.